You are listening to IPL Radio.
All right, and we are back. You might have just missed that first bit of the interview if you're watching this on the YouTube video, but we have Pablo Bluntfield, local Perth hip-hop artist, and also Mike, East Coast Alien, Brisbane hip-hop artist over here for a bit of a visit, bit of a holiday, bit of a working holiday.
Bit of a getaway.
Doing a few shows while you're here.
Yeah, man, as many as we can,
A
possibly.
little bit of business, a little bit of pleasure.
Getting up to Margaret River, which should be good. Frio.
Yeah.
Nah, keen as for it, man.
Yeah,
So,
sweet. Bit of a tour lined up.
yeah, a few shows.
Yeah.
Bit of comedians versus rappers as well.
You're coming up for
Coming
Fringe.
up,
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Is that a Fringe show you're actually involved in?
Yeah, so Comedians
cool.
versus Rappers, it's been
Yeah.
going for, I think, 7 or so years. Now at the Comedy Lounge, and they're always banger shows, comedians and rappers going head to head. And
Yeah.
it's, chaotic and, battling.
So you
mixed
get a
with
backing
roasting.
track, you sit there and freestyle and basically
Yeah.
roast a comedian, and
Yeah.
then they get to sit there
Pop
and
the
come
shit
back at
back.
you with whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they rap, they roast, people get pied in the face. Like it's.
Really?
Yeah. It's full
Right.
on.
What do
Yeah.
you get pied for?
If you mess up your line. So we do like games, we'll get a topic from the
Oh.
crowd, and we got to rap, and the loser gets pied. Decided by the audience as well.
Yeah, cool, man. Far out.
It's
Should
a
be
fun
good.
show. It's worth getting down.
That sounds
Yeah.
pretty ruthless,
Yeah,
eh?
it's nothing that I've done before, so I'm keen to test the waters out, see how it goes.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's something different. You boys have been in the game for a while. I've got stories. I know that you've also toured with Butterfingers and stuff like that. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, just came off that last year, which was your bucket list kind of stuff for us.
Yeah,
like,
right.
Both
Yeah.
being fans of Butterfingers, for
And
years.
where was that? Like East Coast tour or?
Oh, everywhere except for Darwin, pretty much, man. Did a whole
Oh,
national
right.
tour.
Just left
so-
Darwin out, eh?
Yeah, nah, poor buggers, that we didn't
We'll
get there
go.
this
Poor
time.
buggers,
We'll
yeah.
get there. We'll get there.
Yeah, sure, one day.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
So-
Yeah, cool, man. And so, how long was that tour for?
We went, I think it was 8 cities and
4
Friday,
weeks,
Saturday.
yeah.
So October and November.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, just every weekend, just going Friday, Saturday, come back, just flying in and out. It was
Yeah,
dope.
right. And any like wild tour stories, or is it like what happens on tour stays on tour?
Yeah, pretty much. But
Yeah.
it was a sweet tour. Like just
Yeah,
seeing all the
man.
different places in Australia, especially after lockdowns and 2 years of not traveling.
Oh,
Doing
right.
that
So
was
this
just
is
like-
just after lockdown, of course.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
just, I guess we all appreciated it, and I think the audience did as well, because it was like, tours are back on, like for
Yeah.
2 years that was really not happening. So
That's what I think it was more about the music, really, than getting loose and lit. You know what I mean? Which is normally
Yeah,
like,
right. Getting back out there and actually enjoying
That's
the
it, people
music
actually
and
like, oh,
showing your art to
That's
people
it.
again.
I've been
Yeah.
getting lit for 2 years inside my house. Like, at least I'm out doing something now,
Yeah,
So,
doing something again.
yeah.
Yeah, out and about. Far out, man. And what was I going to say? That's what happens sometimes, eh? Short-term memory loss.
oh,
and
we
shit.
know, don't worry.
We
Yeah,
get that, we
yeah,
get that.
yeah. But yeah, and collaborations. You've obviously done a lot of collaborations, and listening to some of your tracks and stuff, you have a lot of people that come in and will like sing the hooks or the choruses. Or,
Yeah.
Is it hard to find collaborations and stuff like that, or?
Well, Perth just has so much individual talent from all kind of genres. So you got
Yeah.
like really good soul, funk, jazz, R&B
Yeah,
vocalists.
yeah.
There's a really good event, the Jam Jar, which is run by Charlie Moon Meter, and that's at the Bird in Northbridge, and that's a monthly thing where we have musicians come up and everyone's just creating songs on the spot, guest vocalists, rappers.
Oh, really?
So we actually did that earlier this week, and that was awesome. So every
Really?
song
Yeah.
is just completely improvised. You got bass, the violinist jumped up, keys, drums. Yeah, it's wicked.
Far out.
Really keeps you on your toes, man. I'll tell you that much. Never done nothing like that before, eh? It was just like,
Right, freestyling live
yeah,
and stuff.
man. And
Yeah.
they're just like writing down on a board things. It's just like, gotta
Oh,
be
what?
pretty
So
articulated.
topics that you've got to
Yeah.
work into it as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
Yeah,
And then it's just
right.
all right, that's the topic, go. But,
Yeah, right.
so that's like a really good spot to meet other musicians, to
to
work
do
on
that
like
sort of
tracks.
networking and stuff like that,
Yeah,
and
for
then
sure.
they'll just sing little bits and stuff like that, or you'll put in
Yeah.
requests to sing little bits, and
Send them a song,
Write
go
it into
through an
your
idea.
tracks.
Yeah,
Yeah,
See
right.
what they think about the song and what would they want to add to it, and then build from there.
yeah, right. And backing tracks and stuff like that, and instruments. You've mentioned hip hop instruments and stuff like that. Do you make all your own backing tracks, or can you just find some decent tracks online sometimes?
I mean, yeah, you can. Probably everyone starts off jacking beats from like YouTube and SoundCloud, and then just freestyling over that, or just writing,
Yeah.
the start. But it's usually worth just going through like local producers. So for me, Rob Shaker, Uncle Sam, Loftois, are all WA boys. Like they produce the majority of my beats.
Yeah,
I
right.
know-
I'm lucky enough that I got Evil Eddie from Butterfingers,
Yeah, right.
making my beats and that. So I'm through Bewilder Beats.
Yeah,
so
sick.
and that's like a dream for me as well. So I was lucky enough to stumble upon that you know. So
Yeah.
yeah, man.
And sort of getting discovered and stuff. Is it like a lot of artists and stuff get discovered through just getting something out on TikTok and stuff these days? Was it like that for you guys, or was it finding a producer or a management company that's going to take you on? Or
That's right. I guess it's like just for us, we're just grinding, so we just want to go place to place.
yeah,
Keep building through that, just like the slow grassroots kind of way.
I think organically, man, it's just being real. You know what I mean? Like that's how we found it. Like you know, if you put it out to the universe, man, it's gonna come back to you if you know what you're looking for. I reckon anyway. You know, so we're lucky enough. You know, we put out a bit of music and people come hit us up and they're like, "Hey, man, you want to jam?" Or you know, if you ever want to do stuff, and that to me is awesome. That's why I'm in making music. You know, so I can collaborate and
networking and just be in the industry amongst the sort of people that you want to hang with.
Yeah, that's it. And if you let that out there and let people know, you know, like some people, you know, want to do their own thing, but some people do want to branch out and try new stuff, you know, and they're the people that we're looking for, you know, so that's why we have so many collabs and, you know, different people making our beats, you know, like, yeah, it's dope.
That's awesome. And who's your sort of inspirations when it comes to Australian hip hop and stuff like that?
Ooh, I guess, I mean, I can just rat off a bunch of MCs because I wouldn't say there was like one defining, but there's definitely like a bunch. So for me, I guess it would be, you got Bliss and SO, Draft, Seth Century, Vance, Downside. That's 5. Yeah, I'll go 5. Yeah.
Yeah, man, I'm like, see, I'm like East Coast, man, we got like Resin Dogs, 750 Rebels and that, which is like Lazy Grey and that, you know, so, but man, even though I'm from East Coast, man, I'm SBX fiend through and through, you know, like Hunter to me is the OG, he's the man, you know, so I'm always been, you know, Mr. Grievous, all SBX sort of shit, you know, I love that. But yeah, man, so Resin Dogs, Butterfingers always, so.
Yeah, right. And is there much of like an underground scene and stuff? And is it like 8 Mile and stuff like that? Like boys down in an emptied out warehouse and stuff, massive crowd comes in, someone drops a beat and there's rap battles and stuff. And
I think there's pockets of like the battle scene still around.
Yeah.
Like it comes in some waves. I think it's definitely bigger in America than it is here, but there was like battle scenes and stuff. So
yeah, right.
Yeah,
and is there underground sort of rave sort of hip hop scenes?
I think, yeah, because hip hop emerged from the underground of just, you know, like block parties and then going from there. So that's always going to be a big factor, I think. And people, putting on private parties or just keeping it low key, going to some grimy area at like 11 p.m., 1 a.m., just smash it out there, you know.
That's what I found most of the places we play, especially in Brizzy, like, you know, dive or, you know, dive bar sort of stuff, you know, so it's all pretty underground anyway, you know,
cool,
so
man.
through just networking.
Yeah.
So.
And is it hard to sort of break through like Bliss and SO and Hilltop Hoods and stuff like that, obviously, as something that's mainstream radio and stuff like that? Is there a pathway to that is sort of something that you can follow, or is it just sort of luck of the draw?
I'm not really looking for that path, eh? No, so I
Yeah.
don't know. I've never opened like, you know, Hilltops. Like I appreciate what they've done, you know, and stuff like that. Listen, so, but yeah, never really been into that sort of, you know, they I don't know, they've changed their styles and stuff over time, which I suppose everyone does. But it's like you're changing your style for you or to make it into that scene. And it's like me to make music I'm doing it from the heart, you know, and I just don't see myself making that sort of style.
Yeah.
Of, you know, like you said, there's cross genres of hip hop, you know.
So
I just feel like that's just not for me personally. That sort of route. It's like
Yeah.
So when you go back to some of the American artists like bloody NWA and Cypress Hill and stuff like that, are they guys that you sort of take inspiration from, or you sort of got a different style to them? Or
definitely Cypress Hill.
Cypress through and through. My whole EP was based off DJ like Muggs sort of styles, productions, you know, that 90s, you know, House of Pain, Fiend, Cypress Hill, like all that, man, you know. So that's
sick.
And they're coming in March for that. They're not hitting WA, which sucks. It's a West Coast tour. Yeah.
So come to Brizzy, bro.
Come to
Brizzy.
Yeah. But yeah, Brisbane, it'll be
lit.
Yeah. Far out, man. That's all right. And they've obviously got good support crews and good lineup and stuff going around with them and as well,
man. That'd be like a bill that I don't think any Aussie like.
I think it's stacked.
It's already stacked, man. So it's just like, what is it like? The Game, Ice Cube, and Cypress or something like that.
Yeah.
That's just that's 3 bangers, you know what I mean? You don't need anyone else for that. I think everyone would just go to enjoy that and get lit. Like,
far out. Yeah. And speaking of getting lit, you guys obviously have a lot of lyrics revolved around getting lit and punching back billies and stuff like that.
Yes, sir.
Use a rule about the movement in WA of Yes We Cannabis. Oh, not just WA, obviously Australia-wide. Yes We Cannabis.
Definitely.
You know about David Shoebridge for the Greens?
Yeah, the one who's pushing for.
Senator for the Greens,
Yep.
the one
Yeah.
that he's found. Apparently, he's had legal advice that he's found a pathway through the Constitution to legalise weed for adult use or something like that.
Yeah,
So,
right. Sick.
Yeah,
I mean, it's medicinal now, so we're both on our
Yeah, we're both
medicinal.
on it.
You can get your medicinal cannabis in WA, Queensland, like nationally, it's fine now.
Really?
I flew
Which
over
years
here
ago?
with tubs, bro, in my bag, and it's like we did that for the whole national tour, man.
Really?
I was panicking first time at the airport, like my butthole was doing these
Yeah.
ones, bro. And then I went through and like you could see in the X-rays that my tubs and that, and I'm like, and
What?
look at me, man. Of course I'm gonna get pulled over, but nah, nothing, man. And
Nothing.
then we even got like Sydney, we got postponed for like 9 hours or something in the airport, right? And so we walked in like 3 or 4 times, just like, oh, let's go for a sesh. Just went down to the bridge, punched it up, come back. We had everything, man. Put it back through the X-rays again. There's a backpack with Billy and everything. I'm like, they're definitely pulling us over. Nothing again,
What?
man. It was
nothing.
Just, it blows my mind, bro. Like,
Unreal.
this is the world we're living in at the
So-
moment. I'm loving it. So
That's
let's
not
get
too
it.
bad. That's not too bad.
Rightfully so, you know, like it is medicine. It has been medicine. It
Yeah.
was illegal from like 1936, but prior to that, that's thousands of years of it being used by humans. So now
Yeah.
finally it's recognized medicine. Legally we can travel with it.
That's
It's like
it.
that's how it should be.
That's
you know?
unreal.
It's
So that's-
beautiful. Eh?
yeah.
Oh, that's good to know.
Yeah,
I haven't
yeah.
done much traveling and stuff like that,
Well,
but that is good to know.
If you ever
Yeah,
thinking about
WA.
it, yeah, man.
Yeah. And now, just a quick questions because I did notice in your songs at the start of Fat Sash, it's not you, it's your mate in that
Paulie D, yeah, my homie.
Paulie D. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's the one that says cutting up a durry.
Yeah,
Yeah, so you obviously smoke with Spin.
yeah, bro. We,
And Pablo, I noticed in your song, Yes Sweet Cannabis, that you say that Spin is a sin.
Yeah.
Is that you
Yeah.
we're
opposed
bit
on that?
Bit of yin and yang, you know, like you know, when he's desperate, he'll smoke some of my spun shit, and when I'm desperate, I'll smoke some straight shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
When
Yeah,
you
Like,
yeah,
know,
it's that.
you know?
It's like it's left and right politics. It's
Yeah.
just like, nah, dude, I got to spin, and I'm like, dude, I need to. It's straight. Like I smoke weed to, you know, cannabis for cannabis. That's
Yeah, man.
that's the
I
main
come from
event.
like,
Yeah.
I come from a hood, man, where it's like a lot of people want,
ghetto.
you know, so you got to like, you only got this much bud, you got to make that shit
gotta
stretch,
fluff it
man.
out.
What are you gonna do with that? You're not gonna
Yeah.
have tea leaves with it. You're gonna put a spin with that shit. You know what I mean? So everyone, you got to feed the
Yeah.
whole family. You know, everyone hungry.
yeah. No, that's fair enough. Myself, I'm a purist.
Yeah, no,
Yeah, that's the way to
I
do
don't
it,
judge
man.
either, man. I kudos to you. You know what I mean? If I could hit that every day and not be choking my lungs up, man, I'd be like, yeah, all over
Man,
it.
I've been set up before, where someone's done it, and it's just what you get used to, Like
Yeah.
I'm just straight, but every now and then someone will pack one, and I'll just punch it back, and they're like, "Oh, it just wrecks me."
Yeah,
eh?
dude.
pack
Yeah,
them
And I'm like,
100%
"Oh, didn't I
home.
tell you I was going to spin in it?"
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah,
"Oh,
yeah.
thanks for the warning." Yeah. And I've only just found out the other day that Eshays are big followers of Australian hip hop. Do you notice that at your concerts? Just a lot of dudes getting around in red TNs with bum bags and mullets? Or?
Nah, that's not really like our crowd. Even though they do love Aussie hip hop, I think
Yeah.
they're more like, you know, they'll go more to like lad rap or like grime or other kind of subsections. But our kind of
yeah,
style,
yeah,
which
yeah.
is more
We're still boom bappy, you
Yeah.
know. Like, so I think you know the
Yeah.
show's not really keen on the boom bappy or our stuff,
Yeah.
which is you know that's cool, man. Each their own as
Yeah.
well, you know. But
yeah.
no, I haven't really noticed him, and especially in Brisbane, like I said, man, there's not too many shows I don't see, you know, around. Especially
Yeah.
like I grew up around punk
They
scene
haven't
and that, so-
invaded over there
Yeah,
yet.
nah. So it's all right.
Yeah,
I'm
freaked me
waiting
out
for it.
today when I found out that Eshe is just pig Latin for sesh.
Yeah,
I didn't even realise that.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh no,
I
man.
think
I
they
used to
claimed it
speak
as
a lot
around-
of pig Latin when
Yeah.
I was 15. Hey, does
They've
that mean
claimed
I'm
it.
an
They've
Eshe?
hijacked it. It's
Yeah,
like
yeah,
yeah.
bro.
I
Claimed
was
it's
like,
their own. It's like
fuck
come
up.
full circle. It's like,
Yeah.
no, we invented that shit. I'm like, did you?
I used to get around when I was 15 thinking I was speaking some secret code that no one could decipher.
That's it.
All right. Anyway, let's take a quick break. We'll go to one of your songs and check out our refreshments. But yeah, we've got Street Smart by East Coast Alien loaded up in the playlist. Let's check
do
it
it.
out.
You are listening to IPL Radio.
All right, that was Idiocracy by Bluntfeld. You're now listening to The Late Show, and we have Bluntfeld live in the studio with East Coast Alien. Boys, stop by for a chat. How you doing, boys?
good, man.
Always
Yeah.
good, brother. Always good.
Just continuing the conversation, we were just talking in the break about some other Aussie hip-hop artists, like 360 seems to be making a comeback lately. And
Yeah. So I think he's just started
what
dropping
happened
some stuff.
with him, man? Like you were saying he sort of started underground and stuff, and then...
Yeah. Then I think I don't know. Maybe you pump out a couple albums, you do a bunch of tours, maybe you hit a wall, or you just want to isolate. Like, guess
'Cause he
just went
just
away for a while.
disappeared, man. I haven't
Yeah.
heard from him for ages, eh?
Maybe the pressure of it, you know, like it being the expectations, you know, when you get onto a certain level, people expect a certain height, and some people's mentality, or you know, just you know, you make music for the love of it, then you're forced to do something, pushes you away. You know,
right,
that whole
when it becomes your job sort of thing,
That's
and
it,
you're
eh?
pushed to constantly come up with new content and stuff like that. And
yeah.
yeah, right. And do you notice that is it hard for you to come up with new songs and keep fresh tracks coming out and stuff like that, or?
I think because we like actually doing it. Like for us, it's just would be doing it regardless. If we wanted to do it to go travel, like if we were just hanging out, we'd be like, let's just make music. So
Yeah.
It
it's
doesn't
just
matter
kinda-
what we're doing, eh? It's
yeah.
always something music involved. My missus hates it.
Oh, right.
No, I'm not doesn't hate it, you know what I mean? But like, it's just we're so consumed with just music, man. We love it so much, and
And we used to just sit there and just like, and what sort of instruments do you make a backing track on and stuff?
I think
Is it-
probably drums are the most important for me when I'm writing or like flowing
Yeah.
because I kind of bounce off that. But yeah, usually just hitting up producers for beats. So drums, bass, certain kind of styles, like, and we just play it, see what hits. Or we just hit up with a muso, start playing a riff, see if we go
Yeah.
from there. If something,
Just
yeah,
jam
connects.
sessions
I
and
think,
stuff
yeah, it's
like
just
that.
whatever vibe we're in. You know, we're lucky enough, you know, that people do send us different beats and obviously a lot of different styles. You know, so if we're feeling something, oh, we'll just go through this. You know, have a look, and then you know, if we find something that we resonate with and vibe, like I'll hit them up again, like yo, thinking about making this into a track. You keen? You know, so and
Yeah,
normally if
right.
they've sent us beats and that, they're pretty open to us.
Yeah.
You know, recording over the top, which is dope. So
Yeah,
yeah.
sick, man.
Yeah.
I love it.
And is it just come across like current events and stuff like that you just as soon as it happens, you like something big comes up in the news and you want to drop a track about it and stuff like that? Or?
Yeah, in some tracks for sure. Because I feel
Yeah.
like with music, one thing that can be good is kind of time stamping stuff. So
Yeah,
we'll see
right.
something happen, then it's like, all right, I'm gonna write my thoughts about what's happening now, and then we'll see years from now, like what's going on about that.
Yeah, right. If you've still got the same opinion years on or something,
Yeah.
or
if
it
it
just
turned
sort
out
of
to be true, like it seems like technology has gotten like everyone's got a hold on it. Like phones are probably the next big addiction right now, like in terms of isolating or whole social life, whole income, whole
Yeah.
interactions, educate everything from one little thing.
yeah.
Is probably going to warp us in some way, and we don't really know yet. It's like this generation's asbestos
The
or lead
phones.
paint or
Yeah.
you know
I
something.
mean, we were only just talking before about phones have become more addictive than a lot of addictive substances, you know? Like,
Yeah.
you're going to have more withdrawals, most people losing their phone than they are coming off of weed or something like that, you
That's
know?
it.
So,
yeah.
Yeah, I think you're more about the current event and keeping it relevant sort of stuff. Hey, like that's why I appreciate his sort of stuff. You know, way different to my stuff. I don't really get involved with the whole politics side
yeah.
of stuff. You know, like coming from a punk background, it's all politics, man. So doing
I bet you're still involved in a couple of punk bands over
Yeah,
in
man.
Brisbane and stuff.
yeah,
so.
definitely. I keep the idle hands as busy as possible. You know,
Yeah.
so yeah. Now I play in a band called Sludge, which is a stoner punk band.
Yeah.
And then I play in a cover band called the Slurpee Jerks, which is like a 5-piece with me and one of my best mates Nell. She's just like split vocals, and we do like cover songs, everything from like 20s to like all the current songs to like Aqua, hip hop, and then we put like a punk
Yeah,
rock
right.
spin on it, man. And then just split vocals.
Yeah,
So,
cool.
yeah, just-
and just playing live gigs and stuff
Yeah,
like that,
yeah,
or are you
we've-
actually recording
We
tracks and
got,
stuff?
like Sludge. That's Sludge was like my first band, you
Yeah.
know. So that was like I was rapping over fast punk
Yeah.
sort of stuff, you know. And that was like I think 2017. We brought that out, and then Slurpee Jerks was more a live thing, and then it started doing pretty well. So we've got some recordings for that, and just seeing how that goes.
And what sort of gigs are you playing? Are you like
Man, all three of my like bands played with like Butterfingers and stuff like that, which we were lucky enough to do, you know,
Sure.
toured around. But like I've played with international bands like Guttermouth and that, which are California
really?
punk, the Dwarves, heaps of like DRI, which is like an old '90s thrash metal, like all that sort of stuff from Cali bands and that. So we've done pretty well, man.
like
yeah.
festivals and stuff? Like, is it sort of like punk rock festivals?
Yeah,
or?
man. There's few like Melbourne and that. There's a lot of punk stuff down there, so we've done a few festivals down there. That's always a good time. Ended up in hospital down there. And just from a festival. So it's good stuff.
And do you get many guys in the sort of punk rock scene that appreciate what you do in the hip hop scene? And is there much of a collaboration there? Is it an easy collaboration?
Oh well, Fat Sesh has got Paulie Duncan doing vocals, and he's actually the guitarist in one of my bands, Sludge, and he's a bass player
right.
for a band called Pannies,
Yeah.
who are massive as well. You know, so
Japanese.
yeah,
Yeah.
so
Yeah, cool.
they as closed-minded in that sense, hip hop and punk, they still are very open because I'm going out of my comfort zone as well from growing up in punk and going hip hop is my vibe, you know what I mean? It's just it was
Yeah.
always harder for me growing up where I was to get tracks and that, so it was easy. I always had mates playing guitar and drums and that, so just walk into that and
Start going straight over the top
Just
of it
go
and
ham with
dropping
it.
lines.
and obviously because it's a bit different, you got like a structured rap follow over like punk that's still doing your 4/4s, but so much quicker with the bass line and all this. It's just like, holy shit, what's this? This has got a catchy vibe to it because it's all like, you know, Dr. Seuss stuff, but just real quick shit, like, you know. So
cool,
it sort of
man.
stood out a little bit, which I was lucky enough, you know, to have happen.
And what is who are the rappers that you first think of when you was like first listened to when you was growing up and stuff like that?
I was just straight up like easy shit, man.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I love that.
Yeah, Cypress Hill, like a Tribe Called Quest. I had my dude John in high school who introduced me to a whole bunch of underground hip hop.
Yeah.
And that would have been like Immortal Technique, Tech Nine, Sage Francis, Rhyme Sage Entertainment, like Atmosphere. And there was, a whole bunch of music that I wasn't really listening to up until that point. And then I kind of deep dived after that. And it would be like, Cypress Hill, Tribe Called Quest. Like early 90s golden era boom bap where it was real kind of positive and all about the flow and the groove. And
Yeah.
And so the boom bap is what sort of inspired your sort of style going forward? And
yeah, I think I like the art of with boom bap or the producers sampling a lot of classic music from the past. So you got a bit from funk and soul and jazz and these little nuggets that you remix and then put out and put your own spin on it. And I feel like that's really fun for us to do. And that's a good way to express music while giving kind of respects to music of decades past.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And is it hard to, like you're saying, there's a lot of different subgenres. Is it hard to sort of stay in your lane? Are you worried about maybe going over into sort of hybrid rap rock sort of thing, or
I'm already doing
just
that,
wherever
man.
it
So
takes you?
I'm open. You know what I mean? I've always been open. I think the more weird sort of music or something that's, you know, not the norm, that's what catches my ear. I'm a weirdo.
So something that's not mainstream and stuff that you haven't heard 1,000 times. You're sort of looking for those new sounds.
That's it, definitely.
Yeah, right. So you also like may like sort of merging different sounds and stuff and just seeing what it produces, and I suppose that's what you get out of your jam sessions and stuff, eh?
That's it.
I think just creating and wherever that takes us in whatever realm, whether it's video or live shows or whatever. Yeah. Just wherever it takes us. I think we'll always be creating in one way or another, whether it's punk, hip hop, music, film.
Painting, doing over, all of it, you know, it's just,
sick. And if you could have your sort of ideal lineup to be a part of and stuff for touring, who are sort of the top 3 hip-hop artists or groups that you would name?
Well, for me, it would be Cypress Hill, Redman, and Tech Nine. Like, if that was the 3 bill, like,
Yeah, cool.
I reckon they would all vibe together as well. So the whole show, start to finish, would be like it'd be the shit.
Yeah.
That's wicked. I think I'd keep in mind more like traditional styles. I'd keep it like East Coast, and I'd have to do 750 Rebels, Bias B, but I'd have to have him on a set, man. And let's bring Hunter back. That'd be it. That'd be it.
And you're saying before when 360 was sort of supporting Eminem when he toured Australia and stuff like that, he never actually got to see him once during the tour and stuff like that.
Hey, that's what we all heard.
That's pretty ruthless and stuff. And do you find many artists are like that in the hip hop scene and stuff that are sort of isolated, or?
No, the ones we've toured with have been super cool. Like Butterfingers, for example, that were like the whole tour. They were just the dudes that were showing us like
they're family to us now. So like, that's what we find more. So like I think we've picked. You know, we sort of have that vibe anyway. You know what I mean? You can pick, you know, someone's a bit off or not, but you know, like most of the hip hop, you know, the older dudes especially, you know, they've taken us with open arms and are really good people. So that's more so what's drawn me into it and keeping me here is that there's so many loyal and top people in the scene.
How did you end up performing with Butterfingers? Was that just through networking and you got to meet them directly? And
Evil Eddie broke his back years ago, and then he started playing because he's a wicked musician, one of the most talented dudes I've ever seen. He's played in a punk band called Spitfire Lyre, and so they were doing Brisbane scene for ages, and just the bass player Brad owned a pub in the Valley, and we all used to go there. It was like a punk rock pub, and we sort of just started connecting in that. And then I was talking to the bass player one day, and we were just drinking, and I was like, "Oh, my band's gonna play with Butterfingers one day," and we all just had a giggle about it. And then, you know, 6 months later, he's like, "Oh, put your name in on the bill." You know, I don't know if you'll get it, but and then we played one night, and then they're like, "Oh, you guys want to keep coming?" And we're like, "Oh, we'll come do another one down in Brunswick." And then after that, you know, I poached Eddie, and I was just like, "Oh, how about you sign my band, you know, to your label?" And he's like, "Oh, I don't know if I can do that, man. You know, like it's a whole band, you know." And I'm like, "I get that." He goes, "Oh, you got any hip hop or, you know, stuff?" I'm like, "Oh, yeah, I got some." I didn't have shit, but I was like, I'm going to start writing, man. So I went, wrote, you know, 3-4 tracks, and he invited me out to his house one day, man. And then ever since then, I just, it's it's like
Shit.
meeting your idol, and it pays off. You know, normally they say don't meet your
idols. That's what
it.
I was thinking about with the 360 M&M sort of
Yeah.
thing. You know, man, like that would have been such a disappointment and stuff,
Definitely.
man. But that is like a good story, man.
Yeah, man.
Like,
No, it's very.
that's killer.
Yeah, dude.
And how did you boys meet? You're obviously East Coast, West Coast, and there's
Yeah,
no.
so weirdly it started through Butterfingers. So
Yeah.
when Butterfingers played his show here at Badlands, Fresh Violet was on support, and I've done a track with her. So when she did her set, she brought me up for a freestyle.
Yeah.
So just did that, went really cool, and that was kind of the introduction to Butterfingers. COVID happens. They have a tour coming up. They're looking for WA supports. They've got East Coast Alien as their support they're bringing over. And then I reached out to them, and they're like, oh, yeah, we remember you from that gig. Like,
Yeah.
cool. So we're meant to do that tour. COVID properly hit and, obviously cancelled.
3 times.
Yeah, 3 different times. So
really?
Recall
So
was
that was
cancelled.
pre-COVID, and
Yeah,
then
Yeah, and then
everything
COVID,
right
and then
before.
COVID. Yeah.
Far out.
So, yeah. But yeah, then
Yeah,
it was,
right.
just, it was
And then-
random.
Yeah. Then when I moved over to Brisbane last year,
Yeah.
we just linked up
As soon
just
as
for a
the
session
borders
to catch
opened,
up.
you just
Yeah.
bailed and get out and about, and
I definitely wanted to travel and just kind of see more of Australia, just playing more shows, and then just linked up.
I just reached out one day because he was over here and it's like, oh, you're in Brisbane, we're meant to meet. Like you're 420, let's catch up. Then he come over for a sesh, and then we just went and explored some abandoned place. And I'm like, oh, this would be good for a film clip. This would be that. And it's like, when you meet someone and just like, balls, like,
just click.
yeah, man, did we just become best friends? No. So yeah, no,
That's fucking awesome, man.
it's cool, man.
No, that's cool. And plans to go abroad and stuff like that, like
Yeah,
America
for sure.
and stuff.
Yeah,
Because I
yeah.
imagine you have a fairly unique sound that they wouldn't have heard much of over there, and they might be pretty receptive to it, So
I feel some areas like maybe California, or Vancouver on the west coast of Canada,
yeah,
Austin, Texas, a few little spots we could go to. We've been thinking about that, especially before the election year, because I feel like America in the election year will just be crazy, just
yeah,
living or just doing
madness.
stuff. And
Yeah.
so I feel like
Yeah, we're gonna
And
try
has
and go for it.
anybody sort of paved that pathway
Oh, man,
before?
I mean, Bliss and Esso, Hilltop, they've done
Definitely.
tours, and they're
Yeah.
they're pretty.
Yeah,
They've
right.
got their pretty strong Europe fan base, and the underground
Wow.
of
I heard
America and
Hilltop
Canada.
are massive in Russia.
Really?
Yeah.
Actually,
So,
Wow.
yeah, dude. So it's like just very odd. Like Japan, I heard as well.
That's
is
what the
very-
dudes are listening to as they're
Yeah.
just like driving tanks into
some
the Ukraine
Rammstein
and stuff.
and then
eh?
some Bliss and SL.
Yeah,
So
some
some
Hilltop. Yeah. Far out, man.
actually saw Hilltop Hoods in Amsterdam in 2019. I booked just a holiday there, and then when I was checking out what's on while I'm there, saw Hilltop Hoods is playing. I'm like, what the fuck?
That's loose.
And it was sold out, jam packed venue. So it would have been
Wow.
800. Saw a lot of Australians, and I was like, this is it's crazy. Like a packed, sold out
Awesome.
Amsterdam crowd.
Yeah,
so there
right,
still is
man.
hope. There
Yeah,
still is
yeah,
hope.
yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, this actually goes out digital everywhere over in America. Apparently, we get a few listeners for this time slot
Yeah,
because
that's
our
weird.
time slot overlaps with their late shows or their morning shows.
Yeah, so good morning, America.
Good morning, America. yeah. You never know who's listening, man. So, that'd be sick, boys. Anyway, let's go to another one of your tracks. Let's go to what do you reckon, Pablo? Something in the water or What Matters? I feel like What Matters is very political, yeah?
it is. Yeah. There's a
Yeah?
strong language warning.
Strong
But,
language
yeah,
warning?
Yeah.
That's all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're the late show. We put out the language warning and stuff. So if there's any
That's
little
sweet.
ears out there, young ears. You could be a grown-ass person with little ears, I suppose.
It's not
But
your
let's not
fault,
make
yeah.
fun of little ear people. But yeah, any young ears, let's just let them know this is sort of MA 15 plus. But yeah, Blundfield, What Matters? Check it out.
You are listening to IPL Radio.
Yeah, BRL I think has played it. And
Oh no, and I think we did it once in Brisbane, didn't we? Fuck it or something.
Yeah.
No, we can do it perfectly here. But.
What's that though? Oh, we're actually back on now as well. So yeah, but this track that you sent through, what is it?
Prince Farley. So it's
Yeah.
off we're working on our debut EP. This is the first single.
Oh, so this
produced
is a
by-
collaboration.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah. First
And
track.
so, who gets the title for it? Bluntfeld or East Coast Alien? Or
It's our joint project.
Yeah.
So
you're gonna come up with a new name for it?
We're thinking Hairy Goons, but we don't know yet if
You
anyone
are
has.
both pretty hairy,
Yeah,
eh?
that's what- and we are pretty goon-like. So yeah, no, that's one idea. But we're open to suggestions. But it's probably going to be something pretty
we'll
haggard
see.
or 420 related or something like.
And so that's the first single that you've sort of completed and stuff.
Yeah,
and
So we've got a couple in the chamber, and we
Yeah.
just want to wait till the full album's recorded before we announce it, and then yeah, go from there. So this track, Prince Farley, is produced by Matt Napier
from Resin Dogs, man.
Yeah.
OG.
Shit, I'll
East
just pull
Coast.
it up now and we'll go to that. Let's see. It was meant to be loaded in the system just before the show. So, Prince Farley, there we are. Yeah, cool. All right, let's load it up.
gonna
Let's
spit
check
some.
this out.
Rest
Hey?
in peace, Chris Farley.
Definitely. So yeah, we'll just spit some live on this end, yeah? Is that what we're gonna do?
Yeah.
Sick.
Sick.
Let's
All
do
right, let's do it.
I am Haru. This ninja knows no fear.
Can you hear that?
You see, I am a trained master in each of the weapons of battle.
Hang on. Nate. But you do have some shows coming up.
Yeah, so this weekend we're actually playing at the Railway Hotel in Fremantle tomorrow
Yeah.
for a Blazing Swan fundraiser. So it's a mixed lineup with some burlesque, twerking, some lip syncs. We won't
We're
be
not
twerking.
twerking.
Some lip syncs.
Yeah, like I
Yous
think some
aren't
like
twerking.
performers. We're
No,
not
I
lip
don't have
syncing.
the
We're not
ass
twerking.
for the twerking, G. I tried it once, man.
You don't want to see our frames do that.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
nah.
we'll be playing some original tracks,
But
and
some
then
lip syncers as well. What is up with that?
we'll have to wait and see. So we don't actually know. We haven't
So
seen
you've
it before.
just seen that it's on the lineup and stuff.
Yeah, so it's a whole group, Dancetopia, looking to go to Blazing Swan and have their own camp. So this is a fundraiser for that, and he's got a
Alright.
whole different range of styles of performers. We'll be doing
Yeah.
hip hop, and then joining Mike Slade for some freestyles. He's another MC, a Fremantle boy, and yeah, it
Shit,
should be
good
fun. But it's
time.
gonna be a different lineup. Like
Yeah.
I think we're the only hip hop along with Mike Slade and Afro King.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Far out. And after that, you've got more shows.
Yep. Then
That's
we got
tomorrow
Settlers
night?
Tavern at Margaret River
Margaret
on
River.
Saturday, and that's
Margaret River.
with
Hit up the
Ponyfish,
wineries as well while you're there and stuff. Or?
maybe the Higheries.
Yeah.
Wineries.
The greeneries,
Yeah,
that's
nice,
about
all the
it.
greeneries. Yeah, nice one, boys. And what sort of gig you got going there?
So that's a Mad Fab show, which is a label I'm on, which is all different kinds of styles and flavors. So, for this show we got Ponyfish, which is a blues rock band from Bunbury.
Right.
Lox, who's an R&B and rapper. She's really dope. She's on Flytrap Records, or Flytrap Mafia, sorry,
yeah.
with Lucian Black, who will be down on the decks. We got East
Shit.
Coast Alien
Awesome.
and myself, and also Scott McKenzie, who is like a rapper, but he can sing his ass off as well. So he's kind of a hybrid kind of style. So the whole lineup, again, different, but rooted in hip hop and
Yeah.
rock.
And that's through Mad Fap Entertainment, you're saying?
Yep. So free
Yeah,
entry,
cool.
Settlers Tavern kicking off at 9:30 p.m.
Yeah.
Margaret River's an awesome town as well, and we love going in summer.
It's
So
gonna
this is
be
ECA's
wicked.
first time there as well.
First time there.
Yeah,
Popping my
right.
Mark's virginity, so
No,
it should be
yeah.
good, man.
Yeah, beautiful. You
Yeah.
picked the right time of year to do it
I
as
reckon
well. It's
so,
going to be
yeah.
fucking mint down there. So,
Yeah.
yeah, good stuff. And the tour doesn't stop there. You've got more gigs after that, or?
Yeah, so then the next weekend after our Fringe Festival kicks off, so
Yeah.
we'll both be doing Comedians versus Rappers on the first weekend. So that's at the Comedy Lounge, 9:30
Oh,
p.m.
sick.
and 10
At the
p.m.
Comedy
on
Lounge.
Friday and Saturday night. And yeah, great venue, really awesome. So ECA will be doing that next weekend, and then the following 2 weekends after, I'll be doing that with a whole different lineup. So it's always each night, new lineup of rappers, new lineup of comedians. It's chaos. So we'll be doing
Right.
hectic.
And do you know who you're getting put up against?
not till the night, but as soon as the
Really?
night, it's like just start analyzing. I'm like, okay, what's their style? What are their flaws? What are their strengths? And you got to kind of.
Yeah, and keep it PC. Is it hard for you boys to keep it PC
Oh,
these
so
days?
Thankfully, Comedians vs. Rappers not PC at all. It's
At all.
raw.
If that was the case, I
Just
wouldn't
let
be
it
here.
fly. It's heinous. It's
I would
the
be- I
most-
would
yeah.
keep- I would keep flying,
I'm sort of
bro.
anti-PC. Like,
Yeah.
I get it to a point and stuff. Like, I don't want to just blatantly offend anybody.
Yeah,
But if it's having a laugh and it's
Yeah.
all like, man, people just are too sensitive these days.
that's it.
You know, and cancel culture needs to be cancelled.
Exactly.
You know, like fucking cancel
Everyone's got
culture.
issues with something, man. Doesn't matter what you do, eh? So why not
it's
just do what you want?
ridiculous.
Like,
Yeah.
open dialogue is important, and it helps work out stuff like humor and comedy is really good to help talk about uncomfortable subjects, and to
Yeah.
try to censor that doesn't really make sense. But thankfully, yeah, Comedians versus Rappers, it's heinous. Like, it's the most mean, nasty stuff, because you're on stage, you're anxious, you're coming up with things, you're getting insulted, comes back, but the art of that is really good, but there's no actual animosity between anyone. It's just more
Yeah,
like,
right.
let's have fun and just say the most messed up stuff we can, and then we get to battle them. So
And is obviously both cunning linguists, and you know how to write a few rhymes and stuff like that. Has that ever helped you in a situation where you're sort of like trying to get a refund or something, and you like need to prove some points and stuff, and basically like tear strips off somebody in a sort of formal way, and
I don't know about I think mine's more so to get myself out of trouble. Hey, like
yeah.
I can talk myself out of a wet paper bag, bro. You know what I mean? If it comes to the cops, you've got a badge on and a fucking gun. I'm like, yeah, nah, I'll talk the way out of it.
Yeah, nice.
But yeah.
And does it take long to work on and stuff to sort of develop your skills? Like I know you, especially with freestyling and stuff, man. It must be hard if you just sort of freeze up on stage. And does it take a while to sort of learn to keep pushing through that?
Yeah, it's like a muscle. So it's literally getting your reps in. If you're doing it all the time, you're sharp. Like you can freestyle in the shower while you're driving. If you're just by yourself walking along, like you can just rhyme about what's in front of you. And if you treat it like the gym or a sport, then you're going to get incrementally better if you're constantly practicing. And that's why as we've been driving around, we're just throwing out here's a word, go, and it's just training.
I'm only new to the freestyle game, you know what I mean? Like in a sense, like you're always throwing stuff around, but mine's like I said, always structuring like poetry style stuff. Where it's it's just.
So you'll sit down and have a fat session, just like get into writing a song and go down a sort of rabbit hole.
Then I'm like, oh, this goes with this, sort of stuff.
This is working well.
Yeah.
Yeah. And who'd you go to when you come up with something that you're like, this is mint? Like, who do you try it out on first?
My missus or my housemate, my housemate's a pretty judgmental little fucker. He's from Logan as well. I've known him since he was 11 we grew up. So I'm like, is this fire or not? And he's pretty good. Like,
he'll just give it to you straight.
Oh, it's missing this, and I appreciate that. There's no sugarcoating shit. You don't want to go to someone like, is this fire? And they're like, oh yeah, this is fire. And then you go, no, this is shit,
just yes men and stuff like that.
We don't want that, So at least I have this little turd sitting there going, nah, that's shit. All right, back to the drawing board there. Thanks for the honesty.
You need that constructive criticism.
Definitely, man.
Sure.
Definitely.
And what about yourself? Are you you must have those times where you're sitting down and just like actually writing lines instead of freestyling and stuff as well?
Concept. So I kind of look at it like keep working on each individual kind of skill. So freestyling's one thing, always writing anyway, just because it's good to kind of, purge thoughts, work on like the live show, like how can you make live shows better, just working on all the individual stuff. And then over time, hoping that by the end, you've got something, even if you don't like 60% of it, you've probably got 40% of stuff. You're like, all right, I'm still kind of like, let's work with this.
That.
And just keep refining. So for me, I might be working on like 6 or 7 tracks at a time, but I find for my 80 like HD, that helps. So I'll get like stuck on one or distract myself with another, then another and another. And I might not have a song done by the end of the week, but a month from now, there'll be like
they've
4 or 5
all made a little bit of progression or maybe one sat back and done,
So
that's not the same. I've got projects everywhere and stuff. It's like, even if I'm having a bad day in one area, at least I can turn to something and be like, I've made progress there,
But it keeps things fresh at the same time too. Things don't go stagnant then. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. You just got to change your sort of perspective sometimes and focus on something else. And like when you're freestyling and stuff like that, do you ever come up with stuff just live on stage on the spot and just think, oh, that was banger, and
for sure,
want to write it down and stuff like that? And just like, oh, wait a minute, everybody, I've got to go write that down,
For sure, like it's like fishing, like it's the equivalent when you're freestyling like that, and then like you go and you're like, holy shit, I got something. You're like,
Nailed
this is you got a little nug, and then you're like, all right, I'll keep that. Like you look at early Eminem stuff when he was battle rapping and he was freestyling. There's bars from like 96, 97 that ended up being on his 99 album. So you could tell it's like he was like, oh, this is a banger. I'm gonna save this for a song. I've only used it as a battle, but then you hear it on the actual track. You're like, you can see how the art worked like that.
And with Eminem's career and stuff like that, like a lot of before he really blew up, and then he was like in courtrooms and stuff like that, and all of that. It was, I think people thought he was a lot more genuine, a lot more hard hitting. But then when he brought out his Eminem Show album and stuff like that, I heard like a lot of people were sort of off it, didn't have the same feel. Did you sort of pick up on that, or did you follow his career much?
Yeah, I mean, I guess when Eminem Show came out, we were year 9.
I think it's a little bit. I thought I was a little bit past that by that stage, sort of thing. Like Slim Shady LP and Marshall Mathers LP was fire.
Yeah, Slim Shady LP was like every song a single,
was absolute fire. But then I sort of drifted away from that when everything else came out, Encore and Eminem Show and all that. I was sort of like
It's hard when you get mega fame and then a lot of drugs and a lot of stuff. Like your whole artistic creation is going to go. Of course, it's going to be different. You know, like.
But I suppose you'd have a lot more people influencing him in that at that point as well. A lot more people that are invested in him and stuff, and are sort of pushing him to make a certain album. Or,
I suppose you'd have to get censored a little bit, Like some of his stuff is just real raw, which I appreciated because he actually had the balls to say, But it sort of seems like there's just a little bit of censorship, like.
Yeah. Do you ever go too far on stage? as stuff, or with your rhymes and stuff? Do you ever
You
like
can't-
you're
well-
just saying you appreciate the rawness of Eminem?
Yeah.
Do you ever like drop a line and then think, ooh, maybe I've gone too far with that one?
Yeah, when you're freestyling, that can happen. Or even like comedians versus rappers, when it's like battling, you can say something like, "Oh, that was probably a little too dark," but then you know you acknowledge it on the next time, and then be like, "Yeah, that was pretty
right,
messed
work
up."
your way back out of it.
But it happens all the
that's
time because
alright.
it is you're throwing stuff against the wall. It's heat of the moment, so you're like you could be off by a little bit, but you got to commit. I think the big difference is when if you don't throw any punches or you don't do anything, you're not going to create anything. But if you take a chance, that's how you keep making stuff. Like
Yeah. And Mike, are you going to be stepping up at this comedians versus rappers?
Yeah, definitely, man.
Yeah?
Definitely. This is something like, out of my comfort zone, which I'm loving. That's the whole
That's
point.
alright.
You know, get
And
up and do
so
it.
you're both going to be on stage, and like the comedian has his crag, says a few lines about both of yous, and then the backing track drops, and then are you both there? It's just like, yeah, I got
teams.
something, or you
yeah,
get
yeah. So you got a team of
tag in
rappers,
and
team of
stuff like that.
comedians. It goes
Yeah.
like 1-on-1, and then you got people sitting back, and then we go in like we tag in like a team. Got a few games like audience rap where we bring someone up, find out a few things about them, and then boom, go to rap. There's pie or die, turn up, and then the end is like a big battle. Comedians and rappers just going
pie
at
or
it.
die. Is that where?
People get pied, but it's
People
not even
get
pie.
pied.
It's shaving cream, which does not taste good.
Oh, man.
Oh.
I don't
Rough.
even know what shaving cream is, to be honest.
You do not want to get, yeah,
that's what
it sucks. And the comedians
The
kind of
shaving
have
cream
a,
companies haven't made much off you
Who
boys,
is this guy? I'm like,
Yeah. We don't know each other.
Nah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
cool, man. Sounds like a good show, eh?
you should come down like there. So it's on Friday, Saturday for the whole month. Mike and I are doing the first weekend, and then I'll be doing the next 2 weekends after that.
Yeah, beautiful.
If you want to come see get some pie in my face, it's definitely going to happen, man, because I'll be stuttering my shit out. It's going to be nervous, but yeah, it's going to be good.
Yeah, nice. Is there any sort of, have you been training him for it, stuff like that? Sort of freestyling?
Yeah, well, that's what we're doing over the next week, which is again just kind of anticipating. Like it's yeah, we treat it like an athlete thing where it's like
I've
all
been
right,
watching my Harry Mack stuff, you know, getting some
freestyling.
lessons.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
But ultimately, the best thing is just play beats and then just talk shit, and that's like the art of freestyling. That's why it's so good. That's why I always feel like I'll be freestyling for decades, whether it's to people or just with friends, just at a night out. You know, like it's just fun
Yeah.
to do.
And I think that's the main
Yeah,
goal. I
sick.
think it's more fun, you know, freestyles. That's the whole thing. It's just
Yeah.
trying different avenues, and I think people understand that a lot more too. Whereas like first coming into it, I was like, whoa, if I mess up, you know, people are going to be like, oh, this dude didn't finish, but it's not like that. You know what I mean? It's like that people appreciate more that you actually, trying
Yeah,
something
right.
different. And,
And with the freestyling, and you obviously go and see other people freestyling, you see other gigs and stuff like that?
Yeah, I guess. Well, a lot of rappers just freestyle anyway, and
Yeah.
usually at gigs, if they mess up a song, they'll start freestyling. Like if you lose your bit, then you're like, okay, I can't just blank, and I've already lost where I'm going. Like freestyle can help kind of pad that. But even at the end, there's usually ciphers
Yeah.
and people just spitting, or even
House
if it's not in the
parties, man.
venue,
Yeah.
outside the venue when people are smoking, that's usually when ciphers happen. At usually backyard parties, it's
Really?
freestyling. So that's actually how I got started rapping was
And you still
freestyling.
get dudes that come in and they'll start beatboxing the beat and stuff like that, and then people will start rapping over that. Is that
Some
like a
people
proper
do, but
thing?
it's definitely it's more underground now than it was. You
I
know,
suppose when we were younger and that, you know, like in high school and shit, that was always the way too. Like when you have little battles and shit, like someone would always be beatboxing and that. It was like, because we ain't got no beats, you know what I mean? But now it's
Yeah.
like, it's so, easy. It's just like, why have a beatbox? Why go to that effort of working those lips, man? We could just press play on YouTube and there's 50,000
yeah,
different beats.
Yeah,
like,
right.
But
All
I
the
love
backing tracks and
beatboxing,
stuff.
man.
Yeah.
So I think there should be more coming back.
Yeah, sick. Anyway, we might just go to another song. We've got High to Get By East Coast Alien loaded up. So we'll go to that and we'll see if we can get your new track loaded up and see if we can't get
Sick.
you doing a little bit of live freestyling for us.
sounds good.
All right.
You are listening to IPL Radio.
All right, and we're back. You're now listening to The Late Show. We've got Bluntfield and East Coast Alien here live in the studio. We're about to try some experimental tech work here. We've managed to sort of Bluetooth it up, so we should be able to play the backing track off Bluntfield's phone. A few guys in here trying to operate some tech that we're not familiar with. But if everything is good now, the boys are about to drop a backing track and then a freestyle over it live here in the studio for you. So let's hit play and see how we go.
I am Chef Boyardee. They're also delicious, they're also nourishing, and they help keep the cost of your meals down.
That was awesome. That was live in the studio, freestyling over your beats, and that is what the people can expect when they go and see your shows. And was that your new single that you're dropping?
It's one we've done as an Ocean Wisdom remix. Shout out to 4 Hours, High Focus Records. So that's a banger beat. So we just love to flow off that.
Beat.
I'm thinking about turning it into a track, but it's good vibes.
Yeah, awesome, man.
Thanks, bro.
Yeah, cool. So that's that's what you're going to be showcasing as you sort of tour and stuff like that.
We do our promo bars. Yeah. So tomorrow night, Railway Hotel in Fremantle, kicking off I think at 6 p.m. We'll be spitting some bars, doing some freestyles as well. So we'll just take topics from the crowd and just make up stuff on the spot. And then Saturday night, we got Settlers Tavern in Margaret River. Yeah. If you're free, a little road trip, Rockingham to Margaret River.
That was tight rhymes, man. Does it take you as long to come up with that and just sit down and sort of pencil in all those words?
I guess we just it's like throwing the ball, just throwing it back and forth and then see what happens.
See what works.
Yeah, sometimes you just get on that topic and just go ham on it, you know what I mean? And just before you know it, you're 16, 32 bars deep, and you're like, oh, onto something here. Like, that's
killer, man. And those backing tracks, man, like you've got a good hookup there. And is there more of that? Have you got a few of those in the chamber ready to go? And
yeah. So we're working with a few like different producers. So Rob Shaker again, usually my go-to guy, Loftois, and Uncle Sam. And I know ECA, like Evo Eddie, he's sitting on so many bangers of beats. So we're hopefully going to get a couple of those on the project as well.
Yeah.
And it's just linking up with good producers that have a sound that we feel will translate well live and what we kind of rep and just go from there.
Sort of like buy the rights to the backing track, or do they just work with you and then you go forward from there? Or?
Yeah, that's a Jack beat, so that's from High Focus, but it's such a banger. So we can't release it as a single, but we'll probably throw it on a mixtape, I reckon.
Yeah, sick, man. That's cool. But so normally you would buy
go
backing
through.
tracks and
Definitely
stuff
worth
like
it.
that, and then you
Yeah.
own it, or do you ever work with producers and stuff that just like love what you do? Can you sing over this for me? And
Yeah, we get
That's
producers who send us
majority,
beats, and then
yeah.
they're like, we're just
Yeah.
happy for you to use it, you know. And then there's other ones. So I've been using Rob Shaker since I started recording, and I find like I really like his style. So
Yeah.
for real, like big singles, I usually work with Shaker. But I think everyone usually does start jacking beats. I feel like that's a good way to start if you want to do hip hop and you're not sure what to do.
Yeah.
Just get a YouTube playlist going and just find some beats and find what you like, and then there might be someone locally who has that. But with the internet now, you could have some dude in Belgium who's going to send you a beat and be like, "Oh, I'm working with some dude in Australia. This is sick."
Go
you know?
on Fiverr,
Yeah,
man.
right.
Fiverr might have something like
Yeah.
you know online. Yeah, you might find some dope beats there.
I
Yeah.
remember working with some dude a while back that was just sort of getting into it and stuff like that. And he said that he went online and there was like word generators and stuff like that. And you'd sit there with the backing track and just try and a word generator online would just give him a random word. He'd try and work that into his rhyme and stuff like that. Is that sort of how you?
That's what I've been doing.
That's a way to do it. Yeah, it's like
it's
yeah.
literally online, that random word generator,
Yeah,
and then you
right.
just click on the words, and then freestyles to that, and it keeps it fresh. There's always just a different topic, different word, and that's good brain
Yeah,
strain shit.
sick. And where do people find you guys online?
Yeah, so if you want to check out any of my music, just Bluntfield on Spotify.
Yeah.
Bandcamp is where I have all my albums and merch, CDs, bong mats, whole range of stuff.
Right, yeah.
Madfap Entertainment again on YouTube and Facebook. And we've got our own fringe show, Madfapomania 5, coming up on Saturday, February 4th at the Jonesway Theatre.
Yeah.
And that's a big lineup of burlesque, comedy, hip-hop, dance, funk, and the Battle Roast Championships, which is a one-on-one kind of fuse between battle rapping, roasting, and pro wrestling. It's a nice little...
What? Pro wrestling?
Yeah, well, there's like
How do you
entrances
work
and a
pro-
championship belt, and it's there's a referee, and yeah, it's loose.
Yeah, right. Sick. Far out, man. You got a lot of things on the go. And I did actually ask Nate if he had any questions and stuff. He's doing switching for those who can't see on YouTube at the moment.
Good on Nate.
Shout
Any
out to Nate.
questions and stuff. And he was wondering if you guys found it hard to make the transition into like full-time rap and full-time art, just like fully immersing yourself in the art. Did you just have like a day job before and you sort of had to...
We still got to
out.
hustle, so that's the thing. It's like you
Yep.
can either have full financial security and do a job and then try to do little bits of creative stuff,
Yeah.
or all in with creative and then you're scraping to get by like week to
Yeah.
week. So it's juggling that kind of stuff. We're thankful that we have a few different kind of side hustles that we do along with the music. And last 2 years was just brutal on the music industry. So I feel like this
Right,
year
of
and next
course.
year will be ripe for opportunity and for people like, all right, especially for us, like the cannabis industry in Australia is going to blow up. And like, we've been repping that as the dirty, scruffy stoners, like, nah, you boys, this is a poison.
Yeah.
It's like, nah, like this is a legit medicine.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's going to be
Ambassadors for the
I
cause.
think that's
Yeah.
where we're going anyway. You know, we're playing the expo, the
Yeah.
cannabis and expos and stuff. We did.
And so
Sydney
what,
and
can you
Canberra
bring
and
out merch and stuff like that? Like
Yeah,
bongs
so we
with
got
your label on it and
yeah,
stuff
that's
like
definitely
that?
Well,
we
that's what I'm trying to jump on. Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
right.
the marketing side of things, man.
Yeah,
Like,
sick.
that's like my dream, man. To have a bong that's East Coast Alien bong, bro. You know.
Yeah,
like,
if
Yeah,
you're-
cool, man.
if you've
And
already
any particular design or anything you come up, or just a classic Springer with a...
And Alien's got to be a UFO,
God,
man.
that's what I
like
was thinking
UFO
about.
styles,
Is it East
man.
Coast Alien bong,
Yeah,
you know?
bro, definitely, man.
That's
So
killer.
when I make them, I'll be sending you one, all right, sir? Definitely on
Yes,
the
good
book.
man. Put me
Yeah.
down. Put me at the top of that list.
if you've already got a bong as well, and maybe you need something to like hold it, we have bong mats
Bong mats
available.
and
So
everything.
on
Right.
Bandcamp, and that's
Yeah.
yeah, feel free to check that out.
I didn't
but
even get to do a pitch. Or you can go to bewilderbeats.com.au to
Yeah.
get all the East Coast Alien, Butterfingers, all the good stuff. I was going to say
track pants,
track
shirts,
pants, man. We got
singlets.
flags, all the different
right.
good
Yeah.
stuff, man. Yeah.
Yeah, cool, man. So people can get out to your gigs wearing the right gear and stuff and
Yeah, yep.
represent and show their support and stuff like that.
Definitely.
That's
Yeah,
probably a
that's
big
killer,
thing
boys.
for indie artists is like most people, like Spotify is probably the main thing that people listen to music with, and there's no real money. You get like a 0.0000007 of a cent per
yeah,
stream.
I've heard that. Yeah,
So,
right.
Yeah,
So
merch
you
is
stoked
really
at
got to
30
get
cents
into
a
the
month.
millions of
Yeah.
plays and
Yeah,
stuff
that's it,
before
that's
you
it.
start seeing real money from it. and
That's
stuff,
it.
eh?
So merch pretty much is, you know, for,
Merch is
for
the
all
bloodline.
upcomers, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. If
right.
you want to support an artist like a local artist, then buy their merch because that's directly goes to them and that funds everything. So
You find
sick.
the majority of it, man, when you're touring, it's just merch, you know.
Yeah.
So anything that you can support, you know, the bands with, like buying merch wise, I think I'd
Yeah.
be forever grateful.
bump up music, come see the show, and then get an iced tea, bong mat, stubby holder, anything you want, mate.
Sick.
MadFabEntertainment.com.
It sounds like you boys have got a lot of gigs lined up and stuff. Is it sort of hit and miss? Or is it just this time of year that you're flat out and then it dies off? Or
Well, I feel like summer is usually a peak period just in Australia in general, or
Yeah.
maybe, you know, America and that as well.
Yeah.
So, especially with Perth, you got Fringe Festival, which is always gigs. Like Margaret River, we want to visit it in summer, so it just makes sense to do that.
yeah,
So I feel like winter's definitely kind of like the lull. So that's usually when we'll write or we'll film more videos, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But summer's the
Right.
time, spring and summer particularly, that's the time to just get on the road.
what were you doing during COVID when you couldn't get out and stuff? Just
Riding, bro, and smoking
Yeah.
cones.
Riding, riding and blazing. It was like pretty peaceful. I think for stoners, they
Yeah.
were already
Yeah.
acclimatized
If
to being
anything, man, I think I
introverted
thrived more in COVID than I have since every other normal year.
just
you know what I mean, man?
stockpiling mad material to just
Sneaking out to
unleash
Eddie's
when you
house
get
trying
out.
to record and stuff when everyone was, you know.
yeah, right.
That was legit.
In
Hey,
lockdown and stuff.
I think
How
I-
bad was it in Brisbane and stuff? I mean, we had it pretty free here in
Oh,
WA
man,
and stuff.
there
We
was,
could still get around a bit. But
For a while there's literal lockdowns of the town, man. So if you
Wow.
got caught walking around the street and that, you get fined and all the rest of it. So
Shit.
we were literally taking the skateboards and just hitting the side, hitting all the side alleys and that, and just trying to get
Yeah,
out.
right.
Yeah. So it was pretty wild there for a while.
far out, and then
Yeah, man.
just got out there and unleashed with all that built up material ready
That's
to go.
it. And
eh?
so when we were ready to go, we had sitting on an EP and met this schmuck by this time, and we'd already started writing and stuff. So yeah, man, it was all happy days, eh?
Sick, boys. Well, I might just quickly load up a song, which I would have done already if I was like a professional or something. But where are we? I've got to put on something. Should have still a couple of your tracks that we haven't played yet in the
Oh, you could go Strange Times.
Strange Times. All right. Well, thanks for coming in, boys.
Thanks for having
and
us, bro.
Yeah. Again, where can your next show is?
Yeah, so tomorrow night at Railway Hotel at Fremantle,
Freo.
East Coast Alien and I will be jumping up for some original tracks and freestyle as well. And then Saturday night we'll be at Settlers Tavern in Margaret River. Sweet lineup of hip hop and rock.
And blues.
Following weekend, comedians versus rappers. So that's January 20th, 21st. That's at the Comedy Lounge in the city, 9:30, 10 p.m. Raucous show. That's going to happen every weekend of Fringe and definitely worth checking out. And then if you want to see a big hybrid show, MadFab's flagship event is MadFab Mania 5. That's
Yep.
Saturday, February 4th at the Jonesway Theatre in Northbridge. And the full lineup and that drops this Monday.
And of course, follow you on all the socials if you want any more details on that and to keep up
Yep.
to date with it. But thanks for coming in, boys. Do you ever have like dudes come up to you at concerts and stuff and just like, boys, let's go blaze and stuff. We've
All
got
the
some killer
time.
weed.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah, and do you
Oh,
ever
oh.
go out and smoke some strange weed in
All
the back
the
of people's
time,
vans?
bro.
It's the shit, we talk about it like 18, where it's like, one day people would be like, man, I'd like to smoke with you. And that's, if we got gifted that, like just being like broke 18-year-olds would talk about
Yeah.
that, and having it happen now is
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
we don't take that for granted, like we love that. It's like, you want to share your bub with us, and usually it's like the dankest stuff.
Yeah.
Like when we went across like Canberra, Sydney,
Yeah.
Tassie, it was like, everyone's just like here, and
We
like, we're
smoked
so
a
grateful.
24 karat gold wrap joint in Canberra, bro.
What?
I'm not even kidding. I'll show you a photo later of it, G. I'm
What?
not even kidding. It's a gold wrap. People like giving us stuff, man, and they think like like they want you to try it. Like they know how in love
they
you
want
are
your
with it,
opinion
man.
on it and
But
stuff. huh?
a lot of the time, like I've had dudes handing big joints on stage, like while I'm playing a set, and you're like, all right, I'll find this dude after the set, because not only did he just hand out like a 50 or cure of his weed in one joint, I want to go
Yeah,
enjoy it
yeah.
because this dude's taking his time to give this to me.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah,
embrace it,
sick.
So yeah, man, it's awesome. If anything, it's bringing more. It's making it more tighter. Everyone's
Making you
more
more
family.
approachable and stuff like that
Exactly,
as well. I
man,
suppose.
and that's what we
Yeah.
are. Like
It's
we look pretty haggard on the outside, but we're just here for a good time and to
That's
have some
alright.
laughs and giggles. So
That's it.
Yeah,
And
just the
yeah,
boys.
shout out to our sponsors as well. So
Yeah.
Greened Out,
Greened
Alien
Out.
Tech, and Down to Earth CBD. So all Australian-based companies, all to do with kind of 420 and that. The hemp expos have been going around the country. The next one's in Brisbane,
Yep.
which is in March. Hasn't been in WA in the past year, which is frustrating. But I feel like now that Brisbane is the next one, I feel WA will be after that. So
get amongst that. For
yeah,
sure.
and if you don't have your medical right now and you're curious, you literally can. Medican with 2Ns.com.au. It's just hooking up with a doctor, explaining what you want. For me, I take it for anxiety and insomnia.
Yeah.
And it's medicine. It's don't meet some dodgy dude in the car park for some bushy or whatever. It's just don't have to worry about that. Like it's as it should be regulated.
Esha's for a bloody 25
Yeah,
bag.
for some rip off.
Yeah,
regulated medicine that you
cool.
are entitled to, and it's not dodgy. Like as it shouldn't be.
It's clean. It's been flushed properly. Doesn't have all those nasty chemicals in it.
That's
And
it.
shit.
Yeah,
you know,
no
so-
PGR. We're very
Anti-PGR people right here.
Happy
You know?
days. Well, with that in mind, we might go out the front and quickly smoke a joint that I brought in before you go, and we will play "Strange Times" by Bloodfield. Turin Robinson, LaWaif, and Beatsmith.
Yeah, so Loftoir, the beatsmith, made the beat. Rob Shaker added his little magic to it as well, which he did on the Dark Crystal. Like, we had the initial beat, and then he's like, oh, let's try this, and adds a few more stuff, which pops. Turin Robinson is in the band Mossy Fog. Blues guy, really cool vocals, so he does the chorus on this. And yeah, he's mad. He's actually, he's a Rocco.
To this the other
Shout out
day,
to Turin. He's a Rocco boy.
right.
Man.
Sick.
Dope
Cool.
vocals, dope
Oh,
vocals.
well, check it out, man. I was actually listening to this track the other day. It's killer. So yeah, let's check it out. Thanks again, heaps for coming in, boys. It's
Thanks
been
for having
a
us.
killer chat. But yeah, let's check it out. Strange Times.
Have a good night, guys.
Later.